Hello out there, all my wonderful subscribers, and all those people that might not be subscribers, and if you're not, maybe you should possibly subscribe, because I make videos like this on a regular basis of whenever I get a fucking wild hair up my ass. It's been a while, and normally I don't do things off a script, and this isn't a script, it's a few talking points, because I like to be off the cuff, but just so much shit has been going on right now. First of all, where am I? I am directly in my reloading room. Here, let me pick up something reloading related. This is gun cleaning related. Let me pick up something reloading related. Here's some Lemmy Shine. There, I proved I'm in the reloading room now. That you put in a tumbler to clean the brass. And I have a light, coming down on my workbench. So it looks like I'm going to tell a scary story. And it is actually a scary story because if you consider what the fuck is going on in America right now, this is more terrifying than any ghost story. But I got a few points here. We're going to talk about gays. Young man, don't you listen to me? Okay, now there's the obligatory gay joke out of the way already. Oh, that was fucking hilarious. We are going to talk about guns. We're going to talk about presidential elections. We're going to talk about women. We're going to talk about men. We're going to talk about question mark bathrooms. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff because it's been a while since I've had an update. But obviously the most important thing, not the most important thing, but the most relevant thing on everybody's mind at the moment is the Orlando shooting. Or fuck, I don't know, pick one. The Istanbul terrorist attack. Whatever the fuck is the topic of the day. But let's talk about the Orlando terrorist attack. If you've been living under a rock, and that'd probably be about the safest place to be nowadays, the Orlando terrorist attack happened at a gay nightclub called the No Pulse. Oh no, it's called the Pulse. I'm sorry if the jokes just slip out. That's the way it is. I get on these rolls. So a Muslim terrorist, or excuse me, a perpetrator of workplace violence, a Muslim terrorist comes in and decides to blow away 49 people. I'm not sure if they were all gay people, and he decides to then off himself. As they typically do at the end of these things, not too many of them survive. That's what made the Boston bombing, again done by Muslim terrorists, unique, because they actually did escape, but then again, that wasn't a shooting, that was more of a, bombing. That's really what they call it, Boston bombing. And so we have a Muslim terrorist, which it could be, any religion terrorist. All religions have had atrocities throughout the years, but I will give it to one group. There's one group that's certainly being a lot more fucking flashy about it nowadays. Oh, Jesus Christ, big fucking spider came down, holy crap. Yeah, like I said, I'm in the reload. God damn, almost right in my mouth. Anyway, the spider wanted to be in the video. I will give it to one group. They have been way more vocal and flashy about it, whether you got 9/11, whether you have the Boston bombing, the subway bombings, this terrorist attack, that terrorist attack. They've certainly been a lot more flashy about it. They're certainly taking the forefront nowadays of being a violent, fucked up religion. Myself, I think all religions are fucked up, but again, there is one being quite a bit more flashy about it nowadays. So, obviously, this was an act of terrorism. Not workplace violence. Oh, the workplace violence thing at Fort Hood, that was another Muslim terrorist. Obviously, this was an act of terrorism, and it was an act that would not have been prevented in any manner by any sort of gun laws or any stupid shit like that. So what do? Of course, we focus on gun laws and stupid shit like that. And the one that they're really, really pressing for this time, because they know that they're not going to get too much because people are going to get sick and tired of their bullshit. The one that they're pushing for now is the no fly, no buy. The little fucking brats in their sit-in, which we will also talk about. No fly, no buy. I'm telling you, no fly, no buy, no vote, no. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna hold my breath until my face turns blue. And what they mean by this is if you are on the no-fly list, you shouldn't be able to buy a gun. And boy, does that fucking sound great. That sounds fantastic. In fact, it's, one might even say, common sense, sensible. But if you think that, you're fucking wrong, and let me tell you why. Who the fuck knows what the no-fly list is? First of all, I read an article saying, all these people think, all these goddamn Republicans think that the no-fly list isn't monitored and shit, and they think it's got, a bunch of people. There's only about 1,000 people on the no-fly list. I did the most cursory search on Google of the no-fly list, and hundreds of thousands of names on a searchable database came up. I obviously am a scuba diver. Well, you might not know obviously, but I am. That's why I got this cool dive watch on. I have somebody in my dive group that is on the no-fly list. Why? Because he flew a plane into a building? No! Because his name sounds a little bit similar to an actual terrorist. There are 4-year-olds on the no-fly list. Is that a suicide bomb in your diaper? Or are you just happy to... Oh, it's a suicide bomb. Okay, well, we won't make that joke then. It is a very idiotic law. I do not agree with the no-fly, no-buy list, because it also violates your right to due process. You can't have your rights taken away from you, your rights to buy a gun, just because somebody gets a wild hair up their ass to go do it. You have to have things like, like evidence and, like reason, it's very important things. You can't just say, you're right to buy a gun. Fuck that shit. You're not getting it. I'm putting you on this secret list and that's it. I want you to prove that you shouldn't be on that list. How about that's not how it works in this country? How about like innocent until proven guilty? We have protections for specific reasons like this. Secret lists, Alex Jones shit. You might want to look into this. Anyway... So they try this basic thing. They try to make it sound so good. They also pepper in when they're talking about this, like, much more serious things like assault weapons bans, which didn't do a fucking thing. But just getting the basic thing, the little one, the no-fly, no-buy. Can we get this slight compromise? It's always compromise. I believe I've talked in videos before about why we don't need to be compromising. But this one, I'll talk about compromise just here in 1 second. This one, the most blatantly obvious reason that this is a little bit stupid is because this fine gentleman that killed all these people was, excuse me, a security guard at, like, I think a federal courthouse, something like where you need to have, like, a background check, more serious than the NICS check, the 4473 you fill out. He passed it with flying colors. So, who gives a fuck if he's on a no-fly list? Clearly he already passed the fucking background check and wouldn't have done a goddamn thing. But all they want is compromise. Just a little bit. Can't you just compromise? Can't you have a waiting period? Compromise, just compromise. In 1991 here in New York, we compromised with the Sullivan Act. That fucked over gun rights so hard that it's the hardest state to get a pistol in. Period. It's even harder than New Jersey because I'm not even talking about concealed carry permits. I'm talking about if you want to own a pistol. If you want to just reach down in your pocket, pull out a pistol, anything, they automatically outlawed all pistol ownership with this Sullivan Act until you go through the government and get a special license to own a pistol. It was specifically made in mob rule. That's the thing about it. It was made to, they had different fees to keep different types of minorities out. It came out of New York City. It wasn't even the minorities we think of today. I think it was, I can't remember. It was like the Italians or the Irish or something like one group. They didn't want to have guns and they knew they were a bit poorer. So just charge people out the fucking ass for pistol licenses. And there you go. It's the exact same thing they do with like class 3 licenses and the tax stamps. Just make a $200 tax stamp. That was at a time when $200 was a lot of fucking money. If you weren't rich or well-connected, you didn't get one, so basically it's a backdoor way of banning it. That's when we compromised once. We compromised in 1934 with the National Firearms Act, which did a whole bunch of stupid shit. I get the National Firearms Act and the Gun Control Act confused sometimes, so, excuse me, it's the next one I'm going to talk about, so I'll kind of put them together. In 1968, we compromised again with the Gun Control Act, and in the combination of these two, banned select fire weapons for fucking no reason, in my view. I'm one of those people that thinks that, yes, you should be able to own whatever the fuck you want, including actual assault rifles, not the made-up ones, tanks, nukes, all that shit that they try to scare you with. Oh, God, you want everybody? Yes, I think they should be able to. What is preventing somebody from getting a nuclear bomb right now? If you're going to drop a nuclear bomb in a terrorist attack, do you think that the law in the book that says, no, you can't have nuclear bombs, is going to stop them? First of all, they're probably riding the goddamn fucking thing down like a fucking, like they're on a rodeo. They're probably riding the bomb down in the suicide bombing, dropping it on whatever fucking big city they want to, so they're not going to give a shit anyway. Secondly, do you think that having words on paper that say, we're going to punish you if you kill 1 million people in the city with a nuclear bomb? No, there's reasons that people can't get tanks and nuclear bombs, and it's not just because some legislation says so. But we compromised on those two things. We compromised in 1994 with the ridiculous Clinton assault weapons ban, the fake assault weapons ban. Well, not the fake assault weapons ban, it was very much real, but where the fake definitions of assault weapons came from. The, if it's got a scary pistol grip, or if it's black, son, that'd be racist and shit. Yeah, my nigga. If it's black, well, they didn't make it if it was black, but if it had a pistol grip, if it had a flash hider, if it had a threaded barrel, if it had like one, or you couldn't have any of these features. You couldn't have one. I get them all confused now because I live in New York. I got so many fucking laws to deal with. But that's when we compromised again, and that was way over the fucking line. We compromised in 2004 when it was supposed to sunset. This fucking state said, ho ho, if you let this thing expire, this is what's going to be legal. No, that's not what's going to be legal. That has nothing to do with what's going to be legal. But you feed it to the sheep, they'll fucking buy whatever you want. We compromised in 2012 with the SAFE Act, which took the assault weapons ban and shoved it up our ass just a little bit further. I think I can almost start pulling it out my mouth. That's why I don't want to hear a goddamn thing about let's compromise a little bit anymore. Let's compromise. How about this? No! But the thing is, we got some spineless motherfuckers in this country that are, especially on the right, that, we'll just compromise, just a little bit, we have to compromise. Can we we'll give them a little thing, but we'll protect your other rights. And the NRA, the useless fucks that they are, even get behind some of this shit. The NRA helped orchestrate the 94 assault weapons ban. Fuck the NRA. And in fact, the NRA, when this whole started, was behind the no-fly, no-buy thing. They were like, well, it's not that bad. We got to compromise on something. We don't got to compromise on anything. Period. How did I learn that this terrorist attack had happened? I was up on Thousand Islands diving both the St. Lawrence River and the Ontario. Great dives. Had a great weekend this weekend. And we're coming back down. We stop at a McDonald's, and I see on the TV, biggest mass shooting in U.S. history, which is untrue. That was actually perpetrated by the government. Not a conspiracy theory. That actually was. I forget what happened, but look, you can look it up. They killed a lot more people. But anyway, biggest mass terrorist attack shooting in U.S. history, and I'm just like, because I know what's going to happen. First of all, yes, I can understand where people get these conspiracy theories because it is getting close to an election year. This is a very hot-button issue. I'm not really sure I buy that I buy it all. I know that the government's probably withholding some information, but I'm not even going to go down that road right now. But I just see that and I'm like, oh, fuck. And it's really strange that you can't go a couple months without having one of these huge mass shootings now. And that's ever since Obama took presidency. I'm not saying Obama did it before we jump on that fucking bandwagon. I'm just using that as a marking point in time. I mean, you have Colorado, you have Virginia Tech, you have obviously this thing on Orlando, you have Sandy Hook, just one right after the fucking other. And all the shit that they push is not doing a goddamn fucking thing to stop it. So we leave the McDonald's, and my new Chevy Silverado has Sirius XM radio in there. So I'm like, all right, I'll flip on the news channel. I'll get a little bit more entertainment instead of listening to Sirius XM 25 Classic Rewind. Great station, you should check it out. And I flip it on to the news channel, and they're talking about this, and I'm like, boy, I can just predict exactly where each person that comes on, because, they're going through interviewing these different talking heads, I just know what they're going to say. And you get the sassy black woman! Here she comes! And I'm like, oh boy, here we go! Let me guess where this one's going. I tell you what, I've been living here for 6 decades, and I don't know why. I can't figure out one reason why anybody needs these weapons of war on our streets. No! You almost caught me off guard. I thought you were going to say, well, let's settle down. Let's look at things in reality here a little bit, We can't go blaming the guns for, Boston bombers did do it with bombs, and there is kind of a thread running through all these. 9/11, they did it with planes. But no, we don't need these weapons of war. Stereotypical sassy black one. Boy, that's being racist. No, that's the honest truth. We all know the archetype. I'm not even going to pretend to be politically correct in this video. And I'm like, oh boy, man, woo! Almost blew that one by me. I didn't know what the fuck she was going to say when she started opening her fucking mouth. But that brings me to the next thing. What she's on there about is, I don't see these weapons of war. We don't need these. They were not intended for civilian use. Okay, let me tell you something. They branched off of that intended for civilian use thing a little bit, and they went to Eugene Stoner's family. Eugene Stoner, while you think he might be a little bit... no, he's actually the guy that invented or had his hands in the pot, fingers in the honey pot, somehow for the AR-15, the Armalite... not assault rifle, Armalite 15. And they went to his family, and these talking heads, which, by the way... what major gun manufacturers think, or is completely irrelevant. Ruger, the old one before the son got in there and the old curmudgeon got out, supported the fucking assault weapons ban because the crooked motherfucker had just put out a rifle that happened to have a standard 10-round magazine with it, the Mini 14. I believe that's what it was, the Mini 14. So he's like, yeah, fucking ban those magazines. Everybody will come to me. You crooked motherfucker. Gaston Glock pretty much hates America. He hates a lot of the shit that goes on in America. But again, Glock is one of the most popular handguns here. So what these people think is irrelevant, much less what their fucking family thinks. So they go to the family of Eugene Stoner here, and they do an interview, and they're all boo-hooing, they're fucking boo-hooing up a storm. These weapons were never intended. Our dad had never intended for these to be in civilian use. Yes, I had a question. Oh, yes, and you in the back. Who the fuck cares? What something's intended use have anything to do with anything at all? You know what else was never intended for civilian use? M&M's. Yes, M&M's. That's not a trick. I'm not trying to be coy. The chocolate-coated candy. M&M's were invented for the military and not intended to be given to civilian use. And if you compare death by obesity nowadays to death by shootings, M&M's are fucking instruments of war, and they were not intended for civilian use. Who gives a shit? Do you know how much of our technology nowadays comes from the military? In fact, there used to be a show on the History Channel called Tactical to Practical, which showed military technology that had been adapted for and thrived in a civilian market. We get a lot of our shit from the military out of necessity. Need something? Military invents it. Look at the Jeeps. GP, general purpose vehicle, then Jeeps. Jeeps is one of the biggest car manufacturers, obviously part of Daimler, Chrysler, and all that shit. But, that's a unanimous name nowadays. How many people are, oh, god damn it, those Jeeps, those fucking off-road vehicles were not intended for civilian use. And again, if you look at auto deaths versus shooting deaths, oh my god, weapons of war, blah, 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 blah. Okay, what else do I have here on, oh yeah, so we're hearing this shit over and over again, weapons of war and this, so, what do the fucking Democrats do? And by the way, the Republicans are not fucking guilt-free here, we're gonna bash both sides here. These little petulant crybabies, it's almost like a joke. It's almost like a fucking joke, and the punchline is not one I want to hear. They have a sit-in. A sit-in. I've heard of a lock-in at the rec center. South Park did that, and Timmy and Jimmy got one set up between the Bloods and the Crips. What the fuck is a sit-in? But this is what they do. It's very scary. Very scary. If you have young children, you might want to make them look away. What they do is they go into the Capitol, and they sit down. I know. I need you to take that in and absorb that for a second. They sit down until they get their way. Until they get a vote on gun control, because this is the last straw. No vote, no break. No vote, no break. No vote, no break. And what that means, their chant means, is if we don't get a vote on gun control, you guys aren't going to get a break. What? If you look at the actual background of that sit-in, it was catered. It was food that the average people would fucking, if they were given that food to eat, like, for their dinner, it would be the best meal they had all week. They didn't sit on the fucking floor. They did that for the cameras, and they acted like, oh god, we're gonna sit on the floor. First of all, who the fuck said sit on the floor? You want to make a statement, sit in the fucking chair. Sit on the floor? I don't get that. And it's not like you're sitting on the floor in the middle of a fucking bombed out fucking bomb site in Iraq. You're sitting on in the Capitol building, one of the nicest buildings in America. Who gives a shit if you're sitting on the floor? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And people were taking them seriously. People were taking them seriously. It's the first time in my life I'd ever watched C-SPAN, because C-SPAN was better than fucking Springer or Maury. I was just, when these fucking little fucks were, between the actual in-session Congress sessions and another in-session, when they had a break, that's when this sit-in shit happened. And that's when they got all, we demand this. They're holding up their little posters of all the little splattered kids and this and that. Oh, we demand action, we demand. And by the way, I was getting like, oh, see these guys, you don't respect the dead. Of course I do. You motherfuckers don't, because you're trying to profit off of them. I just happen to make jokes because that's how I cope with things. Everybody's like, you're so insensitive. That's how I happen to cope with things. And if, as grim as it is, if I can make somebody laugh out there, I do appreciate it. It's not like I'm trying, it's just this is really how I cope with things. It's generally a sad thing. But anyway, back to the splattered kids. They're holding up these pictures of these splattered kids and all the people that died in the nightclub, and we demand action, nobody needs weapons of war, and then it's always, I'm a gun owner and I support the Second Amendment. But! And as soon as they say that, it doesn't matter. I don't care what they have to say after that, because there's no but. There's no but about it. There's no but. That's why in the Constitution there's not but and like a comma before your but. DOL, daily oral language. That's where you learn that. There's no but. But they certainly got into it. So I was watching C-SPAN. I was watching this absolute lunacy unfold. I couldn't believe it. I had to check out C-SPAN because somebody on Facebook told me I am embarrassed for America right now watching how these people are acting. And yes, I was. It was funnier than Maury, though, because I couldn't believe they were giving these people the time of day. They needed to be bent over and spanked by an adult. They needed the adult to come in. They needed to spank them, send them to bed without dinner. Yes, their catered dinner. Just fucking spank them. Knock some sense into these motherfuckers. But no, they let them go. And I could not fucking believe it. But luckily I didn't have to believe it for too long, because they fizzled out after about 13 hours. They're big, we ain't gonna give a break until we get a vote. These fuckwads fizzled out after fucking 13 hours, and they try to make it a good thing. I think we got a lot done here tonight. I think we got a lot done. Yeah, you cost the taxpayers money. Like, that's fucking, like that's something out of the ordinary. Fucking sit-in, what the fuck is that? Sit-in, I never heard of that shit before. And then they leave. Before they leave, they send it off. And by the way, I have my hands on my hips, but you can't see it. By the way, this is just the beginning. Sitting down was just the beginning. What the fuck are you going to do next? Hold your breath until your face turns blue and start stomping and kicking? What the fuck are you talking about just the beginning? You didn't do anything! Just the beginning. Fuck off. Okay, now, getting away guns for... Well, actually not getting away guns for a second. Talking about something different for a second instead of these fucking stupid sit-in motherfuckers. I want to talk about the right for a second, where the right is starting to mess up after this tragedy, okay? It's really weird how ingrained people get with these ideologies that they can't even concede to, maybe these people aren't so bad. And I'm not saying everyone, but generally, people on the right, not big fans of gay rights. I know there's always exceptions. Don't even go there. But this probably is a time where you want to make friends. Not scissor, not Mr. Garrison scissor. You want to make friends with people on the other side. Because the biggest myth is that, those fucking faggots on the left, they would be the ones to take our guns away. Horse shit. A lot of gay people support gun rights. In fact, there are many organizations for gay gun rights. Of course, they generally accept everyone, but there are a lot specifically for gay gun rights, because can you fucking blame them? Can you think of a group that might go walk down the street one day and get persecuted? Get people trying to kill them just because of who they are? Of course they want a fucking means to protect themselves. Of course they want to take training. I mean, and they just had a gay nightclub shot up where there was a hostage situation for hours, where if somebody even had a little fucking pea shooter, a 380, or anything, they could have popped the guy. I just read from a report that the fucking Muslim terrorist went in the bathroom and washed his hands at one time. Maybe he touched some bacon, it's very dirty over there, and that Muslim religion. He washed his hands. I want to see the mirror just fucking explode and his brains be caught in the cracks of the mirror. It would be so easy. The point being, maybe you should take this as a time to, bring people into gun rights, not drive them away. If you keep up with the, oh yeah, it's just, see, they want special rights now because they're gay. No, why don't you just drop that for a second and just say, hey, I own this range, or I know somebody, would you like to come? We're offering discounted or free lessons. If you know anybody in the gay community and you want to spread the word around, come on in. We'll be happy to train you. Some self-defense classes, some getting into firearm ownership, maybe some suggestions, some help, whatever you need. We're here to support you. It was a tragedy that happened. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. Come together. Don't drive people farther apart. That's what is driving me so fucking insane. Because I feel almost like, I've said this before, I feel like I don't fit in anywhere. I'm definitely not a Democrat. I'm definitely not a Republican. And I have to say that because a lot of people that call themselves libertarians nowadays are just kind of fair weather libertarians. They're right people. They're the people that are on the right that call themselves libertarians because of Obama. Because Obama does a few things that they don't like, so they call themselves libertarians. But if you ask them about an issue that kind of goes against their belief, like abortion or something like that, then they're right back on the right. I mean, no, I actually genuinely stand behind my principles. I don't know, it makes me a little bit strange. Here's a bit of comedy relief. So, speaking of guns and abortion, I just made a segue and I didn't even fucking realize it. Speaking of guns and abortion, I just heard this dumb broad in like a news article say, if my vagina was a gun, then I would probably be, for the first time in my life, disinterested in a gun. But anyway, the point she was trying to make is, if my vagina was a gun, it'd be protected. It would be goddamn protected, but because it's not, we don't have abortion rights or this and that, and some other cluster fucking bullshit. So I want to respond to that. If your vagina was a gun, let's take a few things here to talk about. If your vagina was a gun, you would have to have a background check before it's used so we can know the history of it. Make sure it's not stolen. Make sure it's not been tampered with in any way. There'd have to be a waiting period before you could use it. Thinking about hooking up with that guy at the nightclub, which, if you're drunk, then it's rape. Nah, then you gotta have your waiting period. 3 days before, and that's including with implements. Doesn't have to be an actual male. I tell you, implements. Like, I have this 500 Magnum here, so, that'll be about the size of some of you guys out there, am I right? But anyway, so waiting periods. Probably most important is a license. Yes, you will have to pay money if you want to use it. Some of you fucking more promiscuous ladies out there know about paying money to have your vagina used, but license, very important, of course, and it needs to be re-upped, so pay to use it. We're going to have to limit the capacity. So, none of those big black magazines, can be used. No. Only Chinese Asian magazines can be used. Okay, I'm getting a little crazy here. It cannot have any evil features on it. Okay, they do this with ARs. Again, this is all shit they either do or have seriously considered, depending on the state. With guns, again, this is all shit. If your vagina was a gun, no evil features. So if you got like a little landing strip on there or anything like that, no jewelry, no jewelry on the old woohoo. You can't have that. That's an evil feature. Banned because it looks scary. We have enough trouble figuring it out as it is, ladies. We don't need to fucking add anything else to it. It's not a goddamn Rubik's Cube. Now, here's another one. This is very special. If your vagina was a gun, my AR cannot identify as a pistol. It cannot not identify as a single-shot bolt-action rifle. It's an AR. That's all there is to it. So your vagina cannot identify as a man, it can't identify as a woman, it can't identify as a cis, it can't identify as a trans, it's a vagina. That's it. Let's see, now, here's another one. This is going to be a good, if it ever causes, any blood to be spilt while in use, if any blood is spilt while in use, you're going to go to jail for the rest of your life. So if your vagina was a gun, and any blood happens to be spilt, jail for the rest of your life. Now, you called for it. I was not the one that suggested this. In fact, I think it's pretty fucking stupid, but you're the one that called for it. It would be illegal to conceal. Am I right, guys? Yeah! It would be illegal to conceal, right? All right. I'm just kidding. Nobody wants to see that fucking Arby's disaster anyway. But it would be illegal to conceal, so it'd have to be out there in the open, ladies. So, okay. We're going to have yearly inspections for proper storage and use. Yearly inspections. Just saying what we have to deal with. Just saying. And, let's see, if you are too loud while it's in use, you can be arrested. They call that disturbing the peace. So if you're too loud, or if the user of it's ever too fucking loud, because people like this often are way too fucking loud, they need to be arrested. So these are just some of the things that could happen if your vagina was a gun. Thank you. That was my piece on that. That was my monologue on that. Now, I was just talking about people identifying as different things. We're moving away from guns slightly here. I was talking about people identifying things here. Let me talk about the big fucking fiasco in the news before this Orlando thing happened, the bathroom bill. Okay, I have a hard time even understanding what the fuck bill means, so I'm going to give you my idea on that. Now, I don't have a problem with people that are, transgender or anything like that, using the bathroom they feel most comfortable within. And I know it's gonna fire everybody up. If I ever see, this is where the badasses come in, the real badasses that get me scared. Oh boy, I'm watching. If I ever see a man in my daughter's bathroom, here's the hilarious part, he ain't gonna have to get the surgery. I'm gonna cut it off myself. Ooh, Jesus, we got a fucking badass. Better step back from this motherfucker. But on a more reasonable level, how many times do you think that's already happened whenever you went to, go to the bathroom? How many times do you think you may have actually been next to these people? I mean, if they're, say, 1% of the population, people like to overestimate what percentage of the population they are, but even if they're 1% of the population, I'm sure you've seen more than 100 people in the bathroom, so chances are you've probably ran into one. Didn't even know about it. Everybody expects it's going to be, a guy that unscrews a mop handle and takes the head. Oh, look, I'm a woman nowadays. Woo! That's probably not what's going to happen. In fact, it's actually quite a thriving business in places like Thailand where the guys don't really look that bad. You know what I'm saying? Sucky long time. I'm just saying, you may have already seen this sort of thing. What I don't think is going to happen if whether the bill passes or doesn't, I can't remember which side the pro-LGBT side is. Can't remember, don't care. What I don't think is going to happen, if it passes or it doesn't, is if it's going to be the man in the wig. Okay, I identify as a woman, I'm going in the woman's room. I don't think that's going to happen, because let's not forget, when you actually use the bathroom now, what is preventing a man with a wig on his head going in there? The other people in there? It's certainly not the fucking sign. Who gives a shit what fucking sign's on there? It was like, oh, I'm not going to have extra signs. No. The fact that there's stalls in there, and even if you were a woman and you were, like, peeking under the stall at another woman, you'd get your ass fucking handed to you. Same with the men's room. If you're peeking under, the only thing that's different about the men's is you have the urinals where you're not in a stall, but then again, I don't see how that's going to work with a woman anyway, so unless she bends around, then I think we're going to know. I also don't think if you either support or don't support this, the anti-LGBT position, I don't think that most people are generally, well, then that's it, we're going to take all these gays out back and burn up at the stake. I don't buy that either. People do have genuine concerns, like, safety of their children and stuff like that. I personally don't think that it's going to affect that one iota, but I can understand people that have those concerns. But what I didn't know about this bill, which, again, I'm having trouble following it, because I'm hearing rhetoric from both sides. It's hard to find out what the truth is. I hear, it's going to be this on one side, and it's going to be this on the other side. Like, I can't find the fucking truth. It's a little hard to decipher. This also included, like high school bathrooms and changing rooms, and this is where I have a little bit of a problem, because I believe that people have the right to privacy in their, I wouldn't want men or women going into the opposite bathrooms when, they're going to be totally, completely naked, getting changed for, going into the swimming pool or going into gym or whatever like that. That's where I have a bit of a problem. Let's see, what else was I going to mention here? Where am I? Oh, I got so much stuff to read here. I was going to say something else about this, and I just forgot what it was. Whatever, fuck it. My last point that I want to get to here in this video, because it's been fucking a half hour already. By the way, I'm shooting this on my new MacBook Air, which I lied about having an EDU email address about and got it for cheaper than I should have. So that brings us to Trump versus Hillary. Fuck them both. And I mean that. I don't mean, well, fuck Trump, but I'm going to vote for him because I think Hillary's actually going to be worse. I genuinely don't know about that. Oh, I think Hillary would be fucking the worst you could possibly fucking imagine. But I also think Trump would be the worst that you could imagine. I don't think that, well, I don't know what he's gonna do, but he's gonna be better than Hillary. I genuinely really don't know about that, okay? So, nobody's earned my vote yet. Everybody's like, when I say, hey, Trump did this thing that was completely idiotic, or, you can't really get much out of him. He won't ever pinpoint his fucking statements, or he said this which was stupid, and he had to apologize for that. He said that which was stupid, or he wants to impose tariffs, and that's fucking stupid. Everybody's like, well, so you support Hillary? I'm sorry, who the fuck told you that? It's not an A or B. Everybody likes to paint that because if you want to do something crazy, like, I don't know, vote for the person that you actually want in the third party, which is not Gary Johnson, by the way, they always like, well, he doesn't have a chance. Think about that for a second. The majority of people won't vote third party because they don't think they have a chance. The majority of people won't vote third party because they don't think they have a chance. You see where I'm going with this? I'm done playing that lesser of two evil shit. It's blown up in my face enough, and everybody thinks that this election's gonna solve everything. This one, or it's gonna prevent Supreme Court justices from getting it. If you believe that, your chosen candidate will do right on that, you go ahead and you vote for who you want. I don't think so. I'd like to look at this as the bigger picture. I don't think this is going to be the election that solves all our problems. What I would like to happen, but again, people are too far on the Trump train or too far on the Hillary train, is that you get a third party going. They probably won't win this time, I understand that. But if you get a high enough percentage, what will happen is people will take notice, focus either more towards those third party values in the R or the D party, or put a viable third party candidate out there. But I have a problem with Gary Johnson because I don't like the way he handled the gay wedding cake thing. He thinks that the baker should have been forced to bake the gay wedding cake. I think that's a load of horseshit. A private business has the right to serve or not serve whoever what they want. But if there was a sign on the door that said no blacks allowed, no gays allowed, whatever you and your business that you spent your money on and you put all your liability and risk into, you pay your taxes on, your business, you should be able to deny or serve whoever the fuck you want. That's genuinely how I made that mistake like 3 times in this video already. That's genuinely how I feel. So now I'm going to just about wrap it up here. I had a lot of people say, I want to see you make more rant videos. Well, Jesus Christ, when you're giving me this much fucking good material, how can I not? God, what the fuck is wrong with this country nowadays? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the other side, I guess. Well, who knows what my next video will be. Like I said, when I got my wild hair up my ass again. Still need to make a video on that few things like that Frankfurt Arsenal Tumber, which is, by the way, now fixed. I am in the reloading room, so it's just down there. I did have a bad one there the first time. I did have a lemon. So, alright, thanks for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like this sort of shit, do like the video, subscribe, and all that good shit. So, I'll see you next time. Take it easy.